how's it going? My name is Anthony Gray. Welcome to Grayscale Painting. On this evening, we'll do some kind of a vase hanging with some rope. We're going to have the light come from this side, darker on the other half. Try to make this kind of approachable for you to do. All right. This is 11 by 15 inch double glued watercolor paper. 2 sheets glued together. Keeps it a lot more stiff. All right. It won't bend when you add any kind of medium or water to it. This is purple and orange background. All right, you see a little bit of orange in there. All right, and that's basically it. All right. So we're gonna get right on to it. I'll approach this a little bit differently. We'll have the hanging pot kind of come out from the background by surrounding the the bowl itself in darkness. It brings it out a little bit, and we're gonna use a mixture of blue and green. I don't have the palette showing today because it's from a previous project and it's a mess, so I won't be showing that. The colors used will be phthalo blue, cad yellow, sap green, titanium white, and cad red for right now. So, but we are going to make a purple-ish vase or bowl. All right, I'm gonna use a flat brush. I won't use glycerin, we'll just use water today. Okay, and first what I'm going to do is I'll dip a little bit of phthalo blue and some sap green together. That's all, just those 2 colors. So we'll surround it a little bit with the leaves and such, so we'll get a color that kind of represents both of them for it now. This is just to surround the dark, surrounding the bowl. So up around in here, we're just loosely, it's a little bit on a greenish side for me, but it's all right for right now. And nothing too serious, just want to, like I say, surround the bowl a little bit. And we'll fade some of this out. I'll blend some of the darker colors within it. And what I'm doing to loosen up the paint, I use acrylic paint. It's heavy body acrylic. And we're just going to kind of come around very loosely, shape the bowl, but just using the background colors to shape the bowl a little bit. Okay. Once again, it's just phthalo blue and sap green that I'm dipping into, mixing it a little bit. Now I have it a little bit, like I said, on the greenish side, but we'll adjust all this darkness as we go along up around in here. And like I said, I just want to bring the bowl out a little bit. We'll come out here and kind of play around with some of that. No special type of arrangement or anything. It's just me really separating it from that rusty color. Okay, I'm gonna go with some more blue, a little bit of green, a little more blue this time. We'll start darkening some of this. I'm adding water to it just to loosen up the paint just a tad, and I'll kind of darken some things out here. We'll come out here a little bit. Like I said, I'll get these a little darker as we move right along. And basically, I'm just really just filling out the dark areas for this guy, more or less. Okay, I'll just take straight phthalo blue, a little bit of water. It'll mix in with this green a little bit. Just some darker patches, really around the bowl itself. This stuff will kind of bleed in And when it dries, it just darkens in with the color behind it, which is the background color and the green itself. So all this blue will deepen. Once it's dried, it mixes right in with the bold color itself. I don't have to go over every bit of it, just in certain areas. I don't necessarily have to fade it and over blend it, because there's leaves and stuff that's going to be hanging around out on the outside. Okay. Come up around in here, come up here a little bit. Just like that. Nothing's life-changing, just adding a little darkness to the background here and there. Like I say, it's more or less just to bring the bowl out a little bit more. That's all. I'm going to take a little bit of red, put it within this bluish, and add a little green to it, just to make a darker blend, really. Get a little phthalo blue, put it in there. A little touch of water, loosen it up. Now this is very dark. Okay, and we're gonna kind of pop that in there like that. Once again, it's just to kind of really bring that bowl out there a little bit more. So I'm just using little patches of color, that's all. Really set this bowl apart from the rest of the background. So just like that. Now, with me doing this, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to see all of it, but what you will see through the other leaves and such is that it's being pulled outward. That's it, because there's going to be flowers or whatever up here. You got the little ropes here that might be hidden, more or less will be hidden. Okay. All right. Let's get a little bit of, I'm going to use a little bit of red, a little bit of green. Now, red and green are opposites, so they're going to kind of brown each other out a little bit. And we're going to use a little touch of red just to give it that really light color. And we're going to make our rope out of this. Just a little touch of water. Okay, so we'll get our strands of the rope right up in here. Just like that. Nice little straight line. It's okay. Keep it kind of uniform if you can. Like that. Do the center one right here. Now I'm painting at an angle, so I do have a monitor to make sure, just to make sure it's somewhat kind of straight. Needs the best as I can. More red and green. A little touch of white there. So it's easy to bring the color back. And we got another rope right here. Just on each side there. I'm just tilting my head to make sure this poor rope in the center is somewhat straight. Somewhat. Much like that. Okay. We'll let that dry up a little bit. Let's start filling out this fella. Remember, I want the light to be more on this side, okay? All right. Just to block out the color, I'm going to use a wider, more of a stiff brush, more or less, for a flat brush for this part here. And we're going to get plenty of, and I want the bowl to be a little bit more on the purple side, so nice mix of red and blue, a touch of white. All right. Okay, so we're going to get our general color first. I'll just find a spot here where I can just make a nice little mix. We're just going to really just kind of round out this guy. Get as close to that edge as you can. Yes, it's a little dark, and that's fine, perfectly fine. And I'm just blocking in the color. And that's basically what it is at this stage, is just me blocking all of this in. Now, you only got a short time frame if you're not using any extender or retarder. All right, to kind of color all of this in while it's still somewhat wet, you have to paint a little briskly, really. I'm not worried about streak marks or anything like that. But remember, this is going to be lit on the left-hand side. So I'm just going to get a little touch of water and going back into my little purple here and just kind of fill out that outside edge there. As I'm doing this, the paint is drying as I'm talking to you. The acrylic paint dries ridiculously fast. All right, so keep that in mind also. Okay, let's get a little touch of white just on the corner of the brush. You'll start to see some of this glow happening here, because I just want it on the one side, and you're just building up. All right. As the color is somewhat wet, you can kind of play around with it, as you can see. Now, keep the roundness. Obviously, if you go more toward the center, it becomes more and more straight. But I'm just guiding all of this around right now. And I'm not using any medium, just water. Okay. Don't worry about coming on the outside edge. That can be tightened up later. As you can see, it's gradually going to start to bow out a little bit, and that's fine. Taking a little bit of white into this bluish purple mix here, getting a little more of a glow on one side, the tighter the circle toward the center. Okay, and we're going to keep building and working on that. Don't worry about that. We'll tighten that up. It's okay. All right, going into my blue, a little touch of red, a little bit of water, and you start building up that dark half right in here. Build that dark half up a little bit. Keep building. Keep building. You're okay. Remember, the tighter the circle in here, I'm just using water. Don't worry about the transitions. The transitions become smooth when you just blend it in. And it's more of a tighter circle in the center here. So it's really just, you keep building up and building up. That's all. And we're using very simple color palette here. So it's really not too difficult to match your colors. The color matching isn't all that difficult. keep it pretty deep in there. I like some of that dark. Let's bring some of that dark right up under here. And we're going to lighten that up a little bit. Just up around in there. Just like that. Get a slight touch of white. We're going to come up above here. Give it a nice little. And we're going to blend all of that in there. Don't worry about all that. Up around the sides. Like so. Looks like a giant Christmas bulb. I'm gonna go into my filbert. I'm gonna put some water on the filbert, wipe off some of that water, and we'll just kind of melt some of that in there. And just taking the water, and we're just moving it around in between the dark, in between the light, going in the shape of the bulb itself. You don't have to make it so blatant, just making a nice smooth transition in there. Even in here. So keep it that round circle-ish movement. That's what I'm trying to say. Don't go no straight vertical, straight diagonal lines. Everything's curved. See, you get that nice little flow there. You got me? All right. Okay. Let's take a flat brush, and we're going to kind of half load the flat brush there. We'll take a little bit of white, a little bit of water. White is only on the outside edge of my brush. I'm going to go into my previous purple, add it on top of the white. Okay, add a little more white on that tip there, right on the corner. And we're going to come around in here and we'll play around just like so. Give it a nice curve movement there. Just like that. I'm wiping off my brush and we're going to smooth that transition out a little bit. Just in circular motion. See that? Mm-hmm. I'll just kind of tap some of that away there. One of the benefits of using black or using white water, rather. I'll get control of the English language soon. Bear with me. One of the nice reasons to use water with your acrylic is that it dries very fast. Okay, so you don't have to really, just like that, you don't have to really deal with the waiting times, more or less, of the acrylic. A little bit of a rim there. Don't need too much. Let's try for some refracted light. What does that mean? Well, it's a glow on the dark side, but not really overpowering. Okay, it's just a little hint of something hanging around that outer edge out there. Something like that, which brings the bowl out a little bit. Okay. I'm gonna go back to reshaping that because that's a little long, but it's all right. We'll make that disappear. Don't worry about that. Because once again, you can reshape this by bringing some of that dark back. So we're going back into our phthalo blue. A little touch of green in that phthalo blue. We're going to reshape the outside of the pot. Okay. So once again, just to neaten things up a little bit, just reshape that pot a little bit. See that? Reshape the pot. And then over here where it was a little bit too crazy looking, you can kind of go back over that a little bit just to get rid of it, and it reshapes the pot. Once again, it looks like a giant Christmas bulb, so that's all good. All right, Okie dokie. Let's get a little touch of white. Just a little touch. And we're just gonna maybe put a bright spot, something like that in there. If you don't want it that sharp and that blatant, go on the outside edge and just soften it a little bit. Just soften it up a little. I'm just tapping. Just soften the edge there. Just soften it a little bit. That's all. Okay, as I'm looking at it here, I can get a little bit of white. We're gonna just, now you can take a script liner and do the same thing. I tend to just use like one brush. It's called laziness. A little bit of brightness. Just a little bit on that side. Let's kind of pump that over here a little bit and something like that. Maybe have something. We're going to go back into our red. We'll go back into our green. The reason why I choose such a simple color palette is because for those who are starting out and you want to achieve certain colors and certain looks, you know, you don't have a wide variety of colors to confuse yourself with. All right. Okay, now I got this red and green mix, which turns it kind of into a brown. All right. Let's zoom in just for a second. We're gonna just make little striations here, and we'll have it come not exactly straight across, but at a diagonal angle. Like this. Thin, thick, thin. Like this. You don't necessarily have to get rid of that inside. This is representing the ropes here, like so. So that light in the middle of some of those, it just helps sell that image of it. We're going to come over here on the other side. We're going to go in the opposite direction. This one's going this way. We'll turn it around. We're going that way. So basically, same thing, opposite direction. Don't worry about it being picture perfect, because you're going to have all sorts of little leaves and stuff, or the plants themselves going over some of that. But see those light bits of light going through those helps sell that image. We can probably do the letter S for this one. For the one straight ahead. Dipping my brush into a little bit of water, loosening up the paint just to continue. Just a kind of an S formation right now. Like so. And if you want to be extra special, take a little bit of white, go into that brown mix. And on the opposite side, where the light source is shining, add a little bit of a touch to some of those, just to reiterate where you're going to have your light source at up in there. Okay, and we'll do a little bit of that here, just on one side. Like so. You're going to go on the other side. Once again, everything's on the left hand side up in here. Just a little dot just to indicate, you know, left hand side. Using the side of the brush, you twirl it a little bit, get some of that paint that's not on the other side, like so. And basically it's the overall look. Off at a glance, you'll know that it is the light side of the rope here. I'll just kind of, nice little light line on that side. Just a little bit of water, taking what residual bit of the lighter color I have. I'm adding a little more white, mostly water than white. Once it dries, it'll look like more of a glazed film on this side. All right, so as it may look a little too intense as of right now, I'm twirling the brush as I'm bringing this down. It may look a little intense, but it dries up. Take your finger and you can kind of blend that. Okay, the reason why I can get away with it is because I'm using water, I'm not using medium, so the paint dries rather quickly. Okay, see? All right. So let's bring the camera out a little bit. Let's see what we have so far. I think I want to add a little dark on the other side of the rope. So I'm going into my blue. I'm mixing it in with a little bit of the brown. Gives me a deep, kind of weird grayish blue color. Getting a little bit of water. Remember, I'm making more of a glaze than anything else. And we're going to come on the other side here. We're just kind of darken that other side just a little bit. Okay. Just take it, press on it. Take your finger, and really you're blending the inside of that color. It's like so. Just wipe it a little bit. All right. All those little nuances, it helps. It does. It truly helps. All right. Let's take a flat brush. I still want to emphasize a little more depth on this side. So, take some blue. I'm taking the blue, I'm going into the, and take some red, make it purple real quick. Take a little bit of green, mix it all in there. Take a little bit of water. So that's blue, green, and red. I'm coming over here on the bottom. I'm just going to emphasize some more of that dark in there. Just to bring it out a little bit on that side. Come on out here a little bit. Just like that. Just to emphasize more depth in there. So I'm just going to pop that dark out deeper on that one side so it comes out even more. Making a few leaves and flowers. All right. Okay. These guys here on the side are more or less kind of behind this main one. So we'll put a few plants coming past it there in front of this guy. Okay. All right. Obviously, I can't have you look at the palette, but we're just going to take a little bit of the phthalo blue. Pretty dark. Get a little bit of water. Remember, I'm not using any glycerin today. Just water and acrylic paint. Okay. It's got a little bit of green in this. It's a 1/2 inch brush. Okay. We'll zoom back in again. We'll concentrate on stuff up above here, right up around in here. Now, background plants. All of this is going to help us. Okay. You don't necessarily have to start here. You can start doing things here. And thin, thick, thin. Thin, thick, thin. This thin, thick, thin. Come back, come over the plant or over the rope, thin, like just like that. Okay, we have some thick, droop right over it. Don't worry, it's dark. Don't worry about that. They're dark plants. Okay, they're in the back there. Have it come in front of some of those of the ropes there. All right, come out here, thick, just like that. This way, have it come across. All right, have some come up this way, just like that. Come over that rope back there. Thin, thick, go past it. Then see, now you got one going past that guy. All right, see, all of this helps. All right, all makes a little sense to you. Just like that. Come out here, like so. All right. Now, how am I getting away with this? Well, the plants themselves are a little darker. The plants themselves are a little darker than the background and the dark in here. But once it dries, it subtly goes into all of what you see in here. Okay. But keep in mind, it's a little deeper, a little darker than the background that I've put in here. So you can kind of get away with doing certain things. Okay. I'm gonna come here just like that. Swing down here a little bit. Okay. Put some of that over on this side, over here. But it's all dark. But you're still are going to be able to see some of this. And you don't need really too much of this. Okay, I'm going back into my blue. Going back into my red, make that purple. Going to my green to kill some of that red. A small touch of water, loosen up the paint a little bit. Very easy blend. All right, it's a 1/2-inch brush. And once again, we can just have some frilly things coming down here like that. Oh, down here. This is background stuff. And remember, some of this stuff that I'm doing will be covered up. Okay, so have no fear. Come around here, and plus you can also reform and reshape some of that bowl there. If it's looking a little wonky in certain places, you can always reshape that bowl and then still add some of your dark leaves coming down here, just like that. All right. If you feel your paint starting to break, that's because it's drying and you need a little more water to loosen it up, because you still want nice crisp edges on the plants, even if it is just background stuff. Come here, thick, thin, have it just drape down, thin, thick, thin, have it come down here. And it's really just dark plant like things going on around here. All right, come out here, turn it thin, like so. Okay, don't be afraid to use paint. Just come on there like that. We'll get some brighter things in here. I'm just doing the quick wiggle leaves in a couple spots, quick little things like this. See this? Even though it's dark, add them in there. Believe it or not, you'd be surprised at what you can see when you're adding darker stuff upon darker material, darker paint. All right, just pop them. Have no fear. Just throw some wiggle leaves in there, filler leaves. Put them across this guy here, that guy in there like that. See, just put them in there, group them. It's all right. These fellas are in the background. All right, you're not totally getting rid of the background. You just group them in there, just like so. All right, okay. Let's get a little bit of natural green color in some of these. Why not? We're going into more of the sap green. I'm still going to use some of this. I'll put it in the area of this deep purple. I'm going to get a little bit of yellow, put it in there, and a slight touch of white. You don't want it too vibrant right now. Okay, that should be good shade there. Now watch. I'm gonna come over here and we're gonna kind of just like that. Some nice, it's not overpowering green, not necessarily needed to be, but now you're gonna have a series of depth in between these guys here, because you're just gonna kind of swoop some of these in there, here and there, just like that. Come out here, see this? Just like that. Because it's a more of a lighter color of green, you can start to fill out and go over on top of the other greens, okay, without being too intrusive. See that? Come on the other side here, go right across, thin it out. Now I'm using a little bit of water to thin out some of this thick paint, which is helping us out. Now remember, the more water you add to the paint, the more transparent it will appear. So you can get translucent leaves without even trying. Come out here, just like that. Come behind, just like so. Trail some out here, just like that. Okay, bring some down below like this. All right. If you so desire, I'll do maybe a couple, not too many. I'm gonna get some sap green, some titanium white. Still keep it heavily on the green side. Remember, I'm continuing with a 1/2" brush. And let's just say, just because, we'll throw one right past the bowl. Thin, thick, thin, just like so. All right, come out here, just like that. Pop one on the other side here. Come over here, just like that. I'm gonna get a little more paint, a little touch of water. We'll have one come inward, just like that. Right past that shine a little bit. Now, I want to pull back a little bit. Look at the depth in the 3D look. It's a painting already. You see that? We didn't even put any main flowers in yet. It's not necessary as of right now. Just some long leaves here and there. So we're just playing around. Okay. All right. Let's get a little white. Put it into this loose paint we have. I'm not going to necessarily super blend this stuff. Get a little bit of dark in there. Okay, it's just a big mosh of color. Should be about right. Right in here. See all this stuff here. All right, let's play. I'm using the corner of the brush, and let's kind of ring a little vein here like that. We have one branch out over here like this. We'll come over here, we'll add a little vein there. Have it kind of come over here to this corner like that. Take the brush, see this corner end here. All right, you're gonna take it, press, wiggle, come back up, get a little point going. Let's do this one here. Right the point, wiggle, get a little point going there. You see the little colors that are being mixed here like that? See this? You see how bright that is? And it's okay. Come here, do it again. You can get, once you get accustomed to it, you can do these rather quickly. Don't be afraid to run them into each other. All right, let the paintbrush do the work for you. See that? You put them right in there. Look at this. See this? Go in different directions with it. Always got to have a little peak, a little point there. All right. And because of their shape, you can really just gather them in together. All right. Doing it in this fashion, a lot of the depth and everything you're trying to achieve, the brush is doing that work for you. Okay. And you see they're a little lighter in color. Okay, even though they're behind the pot here. Well, remember the light's on this side. You got me? Since we're talking about light, let's go on some of these long leaves, since I have it in my mind to do so. Some of these guys here, okay, we can just kind of get a quick little highlight there. Real quick here. A little outline of a highlight there like that. And I'm just kind of softening the inside edge there. Just like, just soften the inside. Keep the outside, soften the inside, because you got light source coming here. All right. Doesn't take much. Just a nice little soft line of color there, just to kind of remind you you are on the lit side of the plant. Okay. I don't have to do every one. Let's brighten that back out again like that. You don't have to do every one, but it's, you know, a little more action on this half of the plant. Okay, that's all. Just like that. Maybe tease a little light on there, over there. No more, no less. Get a little bit of yellow. A little touch of white. Just a little bit of yellow and white. And I'm just going to add a quick little line of something right in there like that. Just like this. A little touch of some brightness. Now remember, these guys are in the background, so don't go overboard with it. You just need a little bit here and there. Okay? Just a little bit. All right, a little bit just helps sell that. Okay? All right. Let's go to some, let's go over here. Switch it around. We're going to go back into our little deep color here. I'm going to add some green to this deep color. A little bit. Maybe even a little hint of red. Just a slight little touch of red. The red is going to add a weird kind of reflected glow. And same thing. Come here, press. See this? You can see little bits of that red coming through there. Okay, there we go. Get some of that red, some of that green popping through. Have it bunch through a little bit. But this is the other half of the plant, the darker half of the plant. Right? This is all you do. Like I say, once you get accustomed to this, you go through these rather quickly. All right, you just press, wiggle, come back up, and you add that little point to it. Okay. You find yourself running out of paint, you just grab some more. A little bit of light, a little bit of red, a little bit of the green. I'm going to tap into some more green here. And we're going to keep it moving. Just like that. Now what I'm doing is this is not, I don't have water on this. This is mostly paint. So I need some, just to cover up, have it a little more opaque so I can cover up some more of this back here. Mainly in the edges. Okay. Let's get a little water. Going into my reddish green mix, a little bit of the red. Maybe a little stronger dot of red somewhere. A little bit of blue on the other side of the brush. We'll just mix it, mash it in there. Give it a little press and keep it moving. Right up in here, right on top of the other plants. It's okay. Pop them in there. As you're doing it, look back at it and make sure everything's good. Okay, and you see this little bit of red on this side of the paper, on this side of the plant. It all matches. All about harmony here. You follow? Let's pan the camera back and I'll show you what we got so far. See this? Okay. So easily you can start building things. Okay, and you see it's very light and leafy up there. You come down here. See, and it's cleverly shelling in this guy a little bit more. Okay, all right, let's get a little bit of yellow. I did not remove any of the other color. A little bit of white mixing in with that red, so we got some real colorful things happening over here. Remember, this is the light half of what's going on. And so I'll just kind of come over here like this and pop some real bright ones in there like this. Wiggle, see that? Wiggle, come out. Wiggle, come out. In different areas there, just like that. Kind of string it along. Maybe we'll string it back there. Get a little water, loosen up some of this nice color, radiation of color I have here. And we'll come up from over here. It's a brighter color, it stands out. It stands out in front of the other guys. Just like that. See this? Don't be afraid to manipulate and angle your hand a little bit, give it different vantage points. Okay. If you see it starting to get a little lean on the color, like it's starting to do, go back over it, pop a little white in there, just to bring that guy right back out in front, just like that. So you got a little bit of white kind of saying, hey, I'm in the front here. And I'm just going over what I previously did just to bring it out a little more. I don't want it to really subdue itself into the ones in the background. All right, let it come right out here. Okay, it's coming into the light here. All right, okay. We're not quite done. Get a little more white, get a little touch of yellow, kind of have some of that white behave a little bit. Got some darker green in there. Okay. Remember, we're in the light part of the plant, so maybe we'll have a few come over here on this side up here. We have it come sweep down like that, so we got a little bit of something here. Come here, it's like that. Come over here, do the same thing. Have it point in the other direction. If I feel it getting a little thin, go back into it again. You can always get a little bit of a color change in there. If you feel you must, then go for it. And we'll put the tip right in there like that. Let's pan back. Just like that. Look at that. Now, with that lighter color, once again, even though you got that highlight there, it still brings this guy further back. There's no glycerin, just water and just acrylic paint right now. Script liner, plenty of water. I'm going into my white. Script liner, plenty of water going into my yellow. Plenty of water with this, okay? I'm using the slightest hint of some green just to bring it closer to our palette on the canvas there. A little bit of water. Make a very inky consistency with this paint. All right, and we'll start adding nice little, I'll put it to where you can see from the camera. Very thin. Come on around here like that. Bring it around, loop it around, come on down like that. You see that? Plenty of water. This is a very thin brush. So you might think it's too much water, but trust me, it's not. It's not. Come here. Bring it around, loop it around, come from behind here, come in front of the plant, come on in here, come behind here, come on down like that, go off the page. Make it very natural looking. Come back from up around here, go on up, loop around, put them all over the place there. Okay. All these little vines and things that I'm doing. You wouldn't believe how much people are really enjoy seeing this, that 3D look. See, come on around here, come in between outer plants out there. Swing some of these guys over here on this side too, like that. Come on down there like this. Come over here, put some, go right off the page there. All right, all right. A lot of activity, it's just active. A lot of movement. A lot of movement happening there. Come up here. Don't have to keep it going. Have it branch off. Have it come up in front of that plant. Have it loop around like this. And it comes down there. All right. See this? Okay. As it looks right now, it's so much activity in this. Do you really need to have a rose or anything in here? Just by the way it looks now. Okay. It truly doesn't really have to have anything like that in it. Okay, some big flamboyant rose or anything on there. Look at the colors and how they're situated with each other. And it's still light half, the dark half. All right. And it's all composition and positioning, really. Okay. Very cool. Let's take a little bit of we'll take a touch of yellow, touch of white, and we'll just kind of sketch a little bit there, just like that. I really don't have to have anything really on this to bring that out. Just up under here a little, that's all. A little bright refraction just underneath there. Okay. As I'm looking at it, I mean, I probably can get away with a few daisies or something. I don't necessarily have to add a big giant rose in it. I don't think it's really necessary. Let's take a small filbert here, a nice thin filbert, and we'll add some few little daisies. We're just going to take some deep red. Remember, no glycerin. This is just water and paint. So I got a little bit of red here. Okay, I can sneak in probably a little touch of blue in that red. Told you. All right, let's go over here on this side because the red is kind of deep. And let's kind of throw one in there like this. See this? Thin, go thin. Thick, rather, and go thin. Thick, go thin. Thick, go thin. Thick, go thin. Something like that. All right, we'll put a little fella in there like this. That's one. All right. Okay, we're gonna keep it that deep reddish blue. All right, we're gonna keep it that little theme there. Just a little touch of, well, this time I added green into the red, which it at this point doesn't make a difference. It's green and red, blue and red, whatever. As long as it's mostly red, but it's a deeper color. All right, there's a reason that I'm doing that for these. Thick, it's a tiny filbert that's doing this. All right. See this? Come right in front of that guy like that. We can put little bits of floral in there like that, going behind that fella. Okay, just little cute little tidbits of stuff in there like that. All right. Maybe a couple in here like this. So now you can do pieces of flowers going behind leaves and leaf petals and whatnot. Little hints of these guys. I'm gonna take a bit of white and some yellow. Titanium white and yellow. And we're gonna sneak some highlights in there. Just like that. Just little bits. Not all over the place. Just like that. And you'll sneak some brightness in there. Just like that. Don't try to overpower all of that. Just like that. Just little bits here and there. Come in here, add a couple. All right. Some coming behind it. Little bit right in there. If you're gonna do the highlights, do them where the light could possibly hit it. Don't go all dark down below or anything like that. Just a little bit here and there on the darker edge of the plant. And once again, you're adding little bits of color harmony. All right, and in your composition, let's draw back a little bit, and you'll see what I'm talking about there. All right, see him up there? You see that? Just little nudges of color. Don't have to go overboard with it. Just a few will do. Remember, you're doing this on the darker part of the plant, so it's not really too overbearing. Okay. I don't really have to add too much more to this, really. This is really about enough. I'll brighten up a few things here. Just like that. Really don't have to add much more to that. Let's adjust that focus a little bit better. We got to see actually what's going on here. Maybe I'll throw in. I'll go into my titanium white here. I'll go in here in the corner. The tiniest speck of blue, because that blue is extremely powerful. A little more titanium white. A little heavy on the titanium white here. Okay. A little bit of water. So we got partially blue, partially white. Let's kind of pop one right here. Something like that. And we'll pop a couple in there like this. Just like that. Just a few. I'm going to dip it a little bit into water because I can feel my brush getting a little tight there, a little like that. And we'll kind of have one kind of drooping over like that. Just like so. Don't have to overkill it. Okay, not really. No plant overkill, just like so. As you don't need too many of them. Yeah, I don't have to do a full one, as you can also see. Just like that, just a couple. You know, they're a little brighter. They're, hanging around. They're hanging out. We'll put a little something right in here like this. Just like that. Don't have to go crazy with it. Let's pan back. We're almost done here. I thought about throwing a giant rose of some sort in there, but it's not really needed. Not for this painting. Just like that. I technically don't have to really add any more of anything, actually. I'm tempted, but I don't need it. Sometimes you have to know when to call it quits, and enough is enough. And for this painting, enough is enough. You can almost, I guess you could almost say it's minimalist, almost. I'm gonna throw a signature on it. I thank you for watching. I do appreciate it. I'll probably go back to more, who knows what I'll do for next week. I don't know. But I will put a signature on this. And if you're interested in this, all you gotta do is contact me on Messenger or just give me an email. My email somewhere on the site there. And the PayPal link is there. And just inquire. 11 by 15 inch. There we go. All right. We're going to complete a painting. Okay. Usually at this point of the game, I'm usually throwing a border or throwing a frame around it. So it's been a while since it's been a while since I did anything like this, but so we'll throw a frame around it. This is what it looks like with a black frame. Without that inside white border there, it usually this is actually the frame for this size paper. I just threw the white frame, the interior white there, just to kind of break it up a little bit. Okay. But it always ends up showing much better on film than it does when I'm looking at it. But that's what it looks like. All right, let's try the other one. The other one more of a thicker frame. It's actually made for 11 by 14, but and it has the inside white border that I've put on there. Okay, but for a brown frame, it kind of looks like this. I think the black frame might have it for this one. But you know what? You be the judge. But that's what it would look like. Obviously, without the inside frame, you would see the signature. But that's what she looks like. One of the very few hanging potted plants that I never slapped a giant rose in there. Okay. Once again, very, very subtle way of doing light and shade and composition. Okay. And we did a lot of filler flowers. Okay. Even with the deeper colored flowers, we have, well, they're lighter, but it's still a deeper color, not really overbearing. Then we got our bluish ones over here on this side. Never really a full one. They're, you know, little pieces of it, but basically it's a potted plant with a whole bunch of just loosely colored vine looking things all over the place. All right. And you can still see how the pot is still silhouetted in dark, which brings it out. Okay. No black at all was used in this painting. None at all. But when it dries, it gives the appearance of black, but everything's are in dark, deep greens and blues and purple. Well, that's it, really. The brightest thing, obviously, would be the white or the yellow. But everything, as you can see, kind of corresponds. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this. Love to see your comments down below. And until next time.